today, and we are going to have chicken ratatouille. Anyway, we're gonna start off with some of this with the stuff that we are using. We're doing chicken breast. We are using some of the tomatoes that we get in our some of the rice, the tomatoes, and I think that's all we use out of that particular box. But we're gonna start out with chicken breast, and I cut most of it up, but just to show you what to do with the chicken breast, you're just gonna cut it in bite-sized pieces, and this is what I'm doing right now. Like I say, most of it is already cut up, so you're just gonna do it in bite-sized pieces. You can have it as small as you want or as large as you want, and just regular chicken breast that you might have laying around, and I've learned that you can use other meats with it. And one of the meats that you can use is a lamb. Lamb is kind of expensive, but it's a really, really good meat. And me myself, I say you could use turkey breast. You can cut that up. And I hadn't tried it yet, but I'm going to. You can even try pork. You can just dice it up like you normally would in bite-sized pieces. And I have eggplants in it. I have zucchini, tomatoes, diced tomatoes, crushed tomatoes. You can use fresh tomatoes if you want. And you're also using tomato puree. You can take some of your canned tomatoes and throw them in your blender. And there's some of your tomatoes right there. Or even if you have some tomatoes left over from tacos or some other dish or either a salad that you had left over, you can throw that in there. Regular brown onions, you can throw them in there, dice them up. Just getting my chicken ready so I can put it in my skillet. Also, you can serve this over rice. And we're serving it over rice today. So I already have my rice in the oven. It's just plain rice that we also get in our box. And you can use brown rice too, basically any kind of rice that you want. But brown rice or white rice will be really good. And I've learned that sometimes if you have unthawed your chicken breast and cut them up, sometimes they're easier to cut up when they have unthawed. For me, it is. Or you can take them out the night before and just put them in the bottom of the refrigerator. This can also be used as a vegetarian dish. Minus the chicken, I'm sorry, yes, minus the chicken. People that's went vegan, you can also use, this will be a good dish.
And it's low carb.
Very low carb. Okay, this is almost ready. I need two. I need that. I need two and a half bags. Okay, to get started on your chicken, this is not supposed to be a non-stick skillet, but sometimes it don't work out like that.
Can you use chicken thigh meat?
You can use chicken thigh meat minus the skin. You don't want to put the skin in. This is just plain vegetable oil. And you're going to put your chicken in here just to brown it off. I'm gonna do a little at a time. And you're gonna season it up with salt and pepper. This is just salt and pepper that I have mixed together. Just don't not necessarily brown it, but you just gonna cook it because it's no longer pink. And I was gonna use the grill, but I still would need the pot. In the meantime, while that's browning, this is some of my other stuff that we are using. We have eggplants, your zucchini. This is the way you cut your zucchini. You just gonna cut your ends off, split it in half, and you just gonna half moon. So you just gonna try to have them about the same size. So that way they won't, some of them won't be cooked. Because when you slice them real thin and then slice them thick, the ones that are real thin gonna get cooked faster, and then some of them gonna be mushy on that. And we are fixing, I increased the recipe, so it's gonna be, you increase the recipe according to how many people you're gonna have. In my case, we're gonna have something like 12, 13. So I increased the meat and the vegetables. This recipe called for a serving for 4, and I increased it. So instead of using 1 can of vegetables, I went to 3.
Question.
Okay.
Miss Kimberly Coins, can you use chicken thigh meat?
Yes, you can use basically any kind of boneless meat. And like I say, take the skin off. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can use the skin, but this supposed to be a really low carb or whatever you want to call it. So you really don't want that skin in it. But that's left up to you, really. These are my eggplants. I took my eggplants and I diced them. You can julienne them, or you can just have a little matchstick, size. That's left up to you. This is my first batch of chicken. See, it's no longer pink. So what I'm going to do is just transfer it over to my pot. Because by me adding everything, it's going to line up too much for the skillet. Like I said, originally it was for just 4 servings. And I'm going to pour all my juices from the chicken in it. This is my chicken. I hope you can see it. This is the chicken. You can let it stand and get brown, but you just want to make sure it's done done, and that's just to take away that little pink. And then you can see the juice from it. So that's gonna be part of my stock. We're just gonna dump it over in this pot. And we're gonna do the same thing over again. So I got a little bit more chicken, so you're gonna add a little bit more oil. And the rest of the chicken. And this is about 5 pounds of chicken breast. Gonna do the rest of your salt and pepper. You don't have to do a lot at first because you can always go back and add to it on your salt and pepper. And I don't know where you saw the rice, but this is the rice that we normally use, and we have it in our box. I have some diced tomatoes. These are, like I said, this is my zucchini that's half moon. These is my diced eggplants, some diced tomatoes. My diced tomatoes, my chopped onions. I use a lot of onions. And I also got crushed tomatoes. I took those canned tomatoes and just put them in the blender and just kind of blend it up for a second. This is a really, I had never tried this one before, but it's a really quick recipe. The biggest thing, the most work you're going to do is cutting your vegetables up. That's like the most work you're going to do. And when you start cutting your vegetables up, you can go ahead on and put your rice in the oven. Well, like I told you, I put my rice in the oven, so you can go ahead on and put your rice in the oven then. And by the time you finish with the whole dish, the rice is going to be done. And I just season the rice with a little salt and pepper, cover it with water, wrap it in aluminum foil. And I cook it on something like 400 degrees. And that's it on the rice. Just let it cook about 20, 30 minutes. But don't go peeking at it, because when you do, you're going to have to be really careful to not to let the steam burn you when you open it up. This is almost ready. Okay, I'm going to cut this part off. This is the rest of my chicken. Put it in the pot. low. And in my, now I can, okay, now I can go ahead on and add my, I can go ahead and add my onions. I'm gonna put it in the same pot, in the same skillet, and just saute a little bit. I know that's a lot of onions, but I like onions. Might not like me, but I like onions. So we're gonna take these onions and cook them for a few minutes, and just till they get kind of, I'll say translucent. You know, kind of tender. Put a little garlic in it. It's supposed to be minced garlic, and this is minced garlic. You can use fresh garlic, or you can use, I'll say store-bought garlic. Put your little oil in there. Just kind of let it run around in that for a minute. While you let it smell is beginning to come together. You don't want it too hot, but you don't want it to burn. You just want it to kind of get loose. Huh? Okay, so this is a little, you know, kind of getting, see how my onions look, they kind of limp right. So now you're going to start adding your zucchini, your eggplants. We'll put this over here to the side.
You get a shot at that.
The zucchini. The eggplant. And I'm not going to say, I know this is a lot. When it's all according to your dish, how much you're making. And even if you don't use it all and you've got it already cut up, just put it in a Ziploc bag and you can use it maybe for dinner or something the next day or whatever. Or you can also use it on a salad. And this zucchini is good in a soup. It's also good in a lasagna. I got quite a lot of meat, so yes, I'm going to try to get all of it. I just need to get a little limp. Try to let all of it get really heated up in this hot skillet. And don't say you don't eat eggplants and zucchini, just try it. I didn't used to eat it either until I got old. Well, until I got younger. That's all of the zucchini and the eggplants. You don't want it to get the burning down. Mr. Lamont might have some questions for you.
What I found out was that ratatouille is a well-known vegetable stew hailing from Provence, a region in France, famous for the bounty of its produce. It's no surprise then this stew is a celebration of hard-working farmers and fruits of their labor. I also heard that ratatouille is considered a poor dish. Originating in Nice, ratatouille is a traditional element of French provincial cuisine, but today many variations are popular throughout Europe. Traditionally, ratatouille is considered peasant food, owing its preparation style of rough cut vegetables and the economy of a dish that could be eaten with cheap rice, pasta, or dipped into chunks of bread. In recent times, it's become a dish prepared by top chef and served in the finest restaurants.
When you say raggedy cut vegetable, what do you mean raggedy cut?
Rough cut.
Well, rough cut.
Yeah, which the vegetables basically just chopped up and not nice and neat in the cubes and the half moon shapes and all of that.
So basically you can use, maybe you had the top of the tomatoes left on a salad. You could just throw that on in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Or even potatoes that you had left over or whatever. I'm gonna say potato. Okay, this, I'm gonna transfer it to this pot. And this is what it looked like. The skillet is hot and heavy, so. But this is your onions, your eggplants, your zucchini, your garlic. It just kind of blanched together. So I'm gonna put it all in this pot with the chicken. Once I get most of it out, I'll pick it up and show it to you. I got one, but I can't pick it up here. And like I say, this is according to how many people you're serving. So you see we wind up with a lot of vegetables. Where normally this is supposed to be a one dish, all in one pot. But it didn't work out like that. It's all according to how much you're making. So far, the only seasoning I have used is just salt and pepper. Okay, I'm gonna pick this up. This is, like I say, this is what your vegetables look like. So I'll put them all in here. And one of the reasons why this was a one dish thing is because we added chicken broth. We added chicken broth and see all the stuff in the bottom of the skillet, some of your onions, your garlic. You can just toss some of your chicken broth in there. That'll give you a chance to get all your little juice, your little crumbs, I'll say. That's going to add to the flavor. See how all of it, the little pieces just come in. Just going to pour it in the pot.
got a comment that says that looks delicious.
This is what it has looked like, but you gotta stir your meat up from the bottom. You'll mix it all together. We had quite a lot of meat. So all of that was not gonna fit in that skillet. But that's your meat, your eggplants, your zucchini, your onions, your garlic. And you don't want it, like I said, your vegetables mushy. So I got the heat turned down kind of low. So you're gonna add your crushed tomatoes, which like I said, you just put them in the blender, let them, just kind of hit it a couple of times. And this is 2 cans of crushed tomatoes. Just gonna add it to your pot. And these are your chopped tomatoes. You're gonna put that right on in your pot too.
Chopped fresh.
These are fresh chopped tomatoes. And it doesn't matter with your juice from your crushed tomatoes that you use all the juice in the can. You're gonna use all your juice in the can. Don't drain them. Just put it all in it.
Oh.
And this is your seasoning. This is a parsley and Italian seasoning. I'm not gonna put it all in there at once. And I'm gonna do the rest of the salt and pepper. You don't want it too spicy.
Miss Archye, we've got a trivia question posted on the Zoom. It says, what country does Ratatouille come from? You all can answer in the chat box.
This is my chicken base. My chicken broth. Usually you would do 2 cups. Since it's so big, we're using more than 2 cups. So I did something like 3 cups. So what was the answer, Mama? Who got it yet?
No answers yet. They're not paying attention.
I'm gonna tilt this over and let you see what it's looking like. I gotta get on this side.
What's that?
Can you see it?
Yeah.
This is what it's looking like with all the vegetables, the tomatoes, and everything. You just gotta let it cook for a few minutes. That pot is kind of heavy. You just want it to simmer for just about 10-15 minutes. Just get all your juices together. It tastes good to me.
So far, we've got 2 responses on the trivia.
Was it right?
I'm not telling you yet.
Okay, I'm gonna just let it simmer for a few minutes. In the meantime, I'm gonna check my rice. See if my rice ready. Let's say be careful when you're opening this rice up. And in your rice, sometimes you can just kind of dress it up yourself. And what I did, I put a little rosemary in it, and I throw a couple of bay leaves on top of it. And you just take your fork and just kind of lift it up.
I never knew that you could bake rice.
Well, on the stove, you usually, I'll say back in the day, that out, I would drain it and all that stuff. To me, that was a lot of trouble. So when you find something easier and you get a better result, then do it.
Got a question? Can you use fresh parsley?
Yeah, you can. And I put a little salt in this, just a little. But this is really good. It's not mushy. This is gonna be good with the. And then sometimes when it's not as tender as you want, put the foil back on it and close it up. It'll still cook. But it's in good shape right now. And it'll sit on top of the stove. And it definitely will keep warm. Like I say, you can use this as a stew. And you can also use it, if you're going to do a stew, and even with this, I'm going to put it over rice. But you can get you some French bread and kind of toast it a little with a little butter and garlic. And you can dip it. You know, just use it as a dipping. Or even just break it up in there. You can use cubes. And another thing you can also use is your, what do you call it? Croutons. You can put croutons in it. That's just you use them as a soup.
A little crunch.
Yeah, you got that little, that little crunch out. And it's really good. It's almost done. It's just coming down to the last little minutes.
All righty. We had 2 correct answers to our trivia. The correct answer is that ratatouille comes from France.
Okay. All right. Move on.
Miss Kimberly and Miss Michelle.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right, congratulations.
So that means that you want to come down and maybe get a plate just to see how it went or what? You want to come down and get a plate? We can do that.
All right.
This is going to simmer, like I said, for about 15 minutes. And if you want to thicken it, if it don't be as thick as you want, you can always put a little thickener to it, which is a little flour, a little vegetable oil, and that'll thicken it up a little bit. You don't want it too thick. So you're just gonna hang out for a second. Also on the side, you can have a nice green salad. You can still have coleslaw. I'm not gonna say no green beans because you got a lot of vegetables in this. So you don't want no green beans. And you can serve it over potatoes too, mashed potatoes. I just thought the rice would be a good thing. And like I say, you don't want to cook it too long. You don't want your vegetables to be mushy. You just want them to be still a little crispy. I wish I could put the camera over in the pot to let you see what it's looking like. Reese gonna put it over in the pot so you can see what it's looking like.
That's right.
I'm gonna help him out a little bit, put it a little closer.
I'm only doing this because I was explaining all that.
This is what it's looking like. The dark vegetables, that's your eggplant. Little purple on the outside. It's still a little loose, so I might thicken it up. But it's coming out really good. And something else you can put in it too, for more color. Is you can dice some carrots up in there, and that will make it even better too. I'm gonna make up a little thickening. I'm not saying that you're gonna need it, but just in case. And because you're having rice, if you want to make it a little bit more, I say have more juice in it, you can add a little bit more chicken broth. This is a little oil and flour. And you're just going to stir it up. Make sure you don't have any lumps. And this is just going to thicken it up a little bit. Just make sure you don't have the lumps in it. And as you're putting it in there, just kind of stir it up as you're pouring it in there so it won't lump up. See, it's really creamy. It's easy to pour. I'm gonna go ahead on and add a little bit more chicken broth with it. I got a big ladle, so I wind up putting about 4 cups in there. Okay, I'm gonna thicken it up just a little. Continue to stir it. And you can play with it. If you think of all the stuff that you might use it with, play with it. And something else to enhance the flavor, get you that low sodium Worcestershire sauce. It just don't, enhance the flavor of it. Okay, I'm gonna let you see what it looks like now. This is what it looked like now. It's just kind of made you a little thicker gravy. It's not real thick, but this is gonna go well over your rice. And see, my vegetables is not. They're still kind of crispy, just a little. But this juice gonna go good on your rice. And if you don't think it's thick enough, you can always add a little bit more to it. Okay, I'm gonna put it back on the stove, and I'm gonna start dishing some up. And if the vegetables is not tender enough for you, you can always, really, you can just cut it off and just leave it sitting on the stove because it's still cooking. Okay, Ramon, you want to do this? steam coming from your rice, it was still cooking. Really, really good. Okay.
Well, we got another correct answer to our trivia question, which was due to Ratatouille's cost economy, also the rough cut vegetables, this dish is considered to be what type of food? Ms. Kimberly provided the correct answer of peasant food.
This is a salad that I had already previously made up. And it's just got regular romaine lettuce. Iceberg lettuce. We got croutons. That's our salad. We're going to do a scoop of rice in our bowl.
Now we use brown rice or white rice.
You can use brown rice. You can use white rice. Now you're going to take a nice scoop of this and just put it over your rice. You can put as much rice in it as you want. Just going to pour this over your
Juice and all.
juice and all. Get you some of that juice. That's going to be right over your rice. This is what it looks like. See, your juice is just soaking right down in your rice. Chicken all over it. You're a meat lover, put a lot of chicken in it. Or whatever kind of meat that you're using. And like I say, if the vegetables is not tender enough, just leave it on the, leave it sitting up there. It'll continue to cook. That's our dish for today.
All right.
Hope you enjoyed. Whoever's coming up to pick up a lunch, come on.
We got Mr. George and Miss Kimberly and Miss Michelle.
Mr. George, he just all over the place. He really enjoys my cooking. Thanks, George.
Miss Kimberly,
Miss Kim, come on up, baby.
she's our prophetess of the answers.
Oh, okay. All right, Miss Kimberly, maybe I don't remember you, but maybe I'll get to meet you. Thank you so much. So just about 11:45, 12 o'clock, come on down. It'll be ready for you. This is it. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much.
Take care.
We'll see you guys in a minute, whoever's coming down. Thank you.
Looks good, thank you.
Thank you.